Good evening to you all out there, Internet Land. I am back with another Internet review and factoid for Black History Month. Tonight, I will be talking about Bessie Colemen, the first female Black and Native American pilot for the U.S. at a time when all three didn't have very much opportunities to become a pilot. Well, Bessie Coleman was born in Atlanta, Texas. Yes, there's an Atlanta in Texas in 1892. Both of her parents were sharecroppers. She was the 10th child out of 13. And just like any sharecropper lifestyle, her parents moved around a lot, so she moved around a lot. Her father it was part Cherokee, so that's where she gets her Cherokee lineage from. Well, in 1916, at the age of 23, she moved to Chicago, where she lived with her brothers and worked at a White Sox barber shop as a manicurist. She was here. There's where she heard. That's where she heard the stories from World War One pilots who fought in the First World War about flying airplanes and dogfights in the air and everything else, and it got her really interested in becoming a pilot. Well, she decided to save up money, so she got a second job at a chili parlor to help her make money faster. And she saved up for a flight school, but due to being a woman, black, and Native American, the doors were closed. So she was forced to go to France and learn French there and attend a flight academy there where she got her aviator license and returned to the U.S. in September of 1921. She became a media sensation for being the first woman and first black woman to earn a pilot license. Well, commercial aviation was still decades away, so to earn a living as a civilian pilot, she did what most people in the time period did. She became a barnstorming stunt pilot. Well, unfortunately, that would require more flight training, and of course, the United States in that time period, nobody was willing to train her. So she had to return to Europe. She went to the Netherlands and met Anthony Fokker, a renowned airplane designer who also owned Fokker Corporation, which built airplanes. So there she went to Germany and received additional flying and returned to the United States to launch her career as an exhibition flyer and stunt flyer, and made her appearance in an air show in September of 1922. And from there on, she worked hard. She impressed everybody with her death-defying flying stunts and everything, like what you see in a typical air show of the time period. But she never lost sight of her dream. She wanted to be an aviatrix, so she still needed money to buy her own airplane. During a speaking tour in my home city of Orlando, she met a reverend by the name of Hezekiah Hill and his wife Viola. They had Mount Zion Missionary Church up the road from where I live at in Paramore. After she met them, she stayed here in Orlando and opened up a beauty shop in order to earn money to open her airplane. It was around the same time that an African American film company called Seminole Films offered her a role for a movie they were making, and she accepted in hopes that the money would help her get her own airplane, and the publicity from the movie could help her open up a flight school in the not too distant future. But when she read the script and saw how she was what she had to play, she walked off set. She pretty much always said that she did not want to perpetuate the negative stereotype and images of blacks in movies or any media. So she eventually bought her own airplane, a Curtiss JN4, often nicknamed a Jenny. Well, it was that airplane that caused her death. Her personal mechanic, a 24-year-old man named William D. Wills, who also happened to be her press agent and and flying partner warned her that that plane was a death trap. She herself was no stranger to plane crashes. In February 22nd, 1923, her airplane that she was flying during a stunt show in LA stalled and crashed. And now in that wreck, she broke a leg and three ribs. Well, on April 30th, 1926, Bessie was practicing for a stunt show that was going to be on the next day. Well, she was flying in the air. Coleman was in the seat behind her, and when she was looking over the terrain, the plane stalled and went into a dive. Bessie wasn't wearing her seatbelt, so she fell out and fell 2,000 feet to her death. Wills tried in vain to get the airplane under control, but the airplane just crashed and burned. He died too. Bessie was 34 years old. Well, despite her short career as an aviatrix, Bessie went on to inspire many generations of women and African Americans to become pilots. There are many places named in her honor where she had her beauty shop in my home city of Orlando, and the street by the Baptist Church was renamed Bessie Colemen Street or Boulevard Avenue, one of those names in 2013. Um, I mean, I wish I was around to see her air show. From what I've read in many reports and history books, she was quite the stunt flyer. She was also an example of the pioneering spirit of women. She opened the doors for many women and many African Americans to become pilots. Well, she didn't open the door. She laid down the foundation and paved the road for opportunities in the future. Well, unfortunately, she did not live long enough to see, her pioneering ways succeed, and she also did not live long enough to establish the flight school that she planned, which would help train women and African Americans and Native Americans and people of other nationalities to become pilots. Well, this ends this episode, ladies and gentlemen out there in internet land. Like and subscribe. And I think next time I'll do a review on Spencer Williams. Good night.